it's time to hit up the Corellustrator as our guy Bobby Corella, our DLLS Mavs analyst, going to break down what was a terrific night for undrafted rookie Ryan Nembhard, who had the NBA world talking with a near flawless performance against the Denver Nuggets, helped the Mavericks get their second straight win.
Good offense is all about creating advantages, and then good playmaking is about taking advantage of the advantages. Taking advantage of the advantages.
That's
this
right.
is real deep philosophical stuff, y'all. But there were a few plays last night that I think are really good examples.
Making hard decisions is never easy.
That's right.
Absolutely. Yes, it is never easy to do. Hard things are hard, once said Rick Carlisle. Now, it's not just Ryan Nembhard. There's going to be some Coop stuff. There's going to be some Anthony Davis at the 5 stuff. But all of these things coalesced into the Mavs' best offensive performance of the season. So let's start with this first play. This is called Stack. It's a Spain pick and roll where you have a ball screen and then you have a guy screen the screener. The Mavs used to run this a lot in a bygone era. They haven't as much over the last year because oftentimes they've had 2 bigs on the floor or really not a center on the floor. So either 2 bigs or none. Last night, you play 80 at the 5. That allows you a lot of space underneath to do some stuff. And so they've been running this action a lot with Klay Thompson on the floor. So what's going to happen, first off, if you're listening on audio, go check out YouTube for the visuals. But if you can't do that, I'm going to try and describe it as best I can. Ryan Nembhard's up top, and AD is going to come set a screen for him to go right. And then Klay Thompson is in the lane underneath, and he's going to screen AD's man, Jonas Valanciunas. So Valanciunas and Denver play they kind of play up near the level of the screen and then they drop back. So it's this sort of like pseudo drop coverage. If you're a good playmaker, you can destroy this stuff all game, every game. And Ryan Nembhard did just that. So as Nembhard comes around the screen, Tanner, let's go to the next play. D'Angelo Russell is on the weak side. He's on that left wing, kind of holding Bruce Brown. Brown can't cheat too far off Russell because first off, Nembhard can make that pass, and Russell's a pretty good catch and shoot guy. And Brown would love to cheat off, though, to get a nice tag on Anthony Davis. Just stick a little elbow in his ribs to prevent him from just rolling down the lane. Jonas Valanciunas is staring at Ryan Nembhard, and Klay Thompson's delivering a real nice screen right to his back to limit him. So the only player now, because Brown can't tag and Valanciunas is off AD, the only player that can stop Anthony Davis from a dunk is our old friend Tim Hardaway Jr., and in the next image, we see Tim Hardaway Jr. tried his best, but this is kind of like a freeze frame. I bet you're wondering how I ended up here, because Nembhard just throws it way up top above the rim, and AD goes and gets it, and Hardaway does it. That's just an easy dunk. And that is the beauty, first off, of, again, good floor spacing, because there's no other big to eat up all that room. AD could just dive into that open space. Having a good shooter on the weak side, having shooting on the floor that the opponent must respect, and then also having a point guard that can see all of this stuff happen and make the right decision.
Sound like a balanced floor.
Yes, it's just good. That's just good offense.
Yeah.
It's just good offense. And kind of bad defense, but the Mavs will take advantage.
Bruce Brown should attack there anyway, but it
Yes.
might end up in a D'Lo 3.
It might.
An open D'Lo wing 3 is, a better outcome than what Dallas was getting on a lot of possessions early in the year.
And there's also some misdirection happening in that first clip. We don't have to show it, but Bruce Brown, he has no idea that they're setting up a stack. Like, he just doesn't know because he's guarding D'Lo. So, okay. So, and the next play, this is going to be a little Nembhard. It's going to be a little AD. It's going to be a little Coop. We're just having fun here. Let's put the Mavs' big 3 in an action and see what happens.
Wow.
So they're setting up. The Mavs run this action called 77. It's not named after Luka. I promise they were running it before Luka. But it's just a double drag going either left to right or right to left. They don't actually do it here. So Coop is the first screener. AD is the second screener. Another one of these staggered actions where from this, one guy could roll, one guy could pop. They could both pop. But what they're going to do is Nembhard is going to take the Coop screen in the next pick, Tanner, and just swing it back to Coop to get him the ball. And then Nembhard is going to escape. AD's going to set a little flare screen for him. And we see Nikola Jokic is already dropped. Like, he's not even at the level the way that Valanciunas was before. He is just in the lane, just like not really participating in the play. And that's going to come in play in the next clip or in the next picture because AD is now going to go set a screen for Coop to get into the middle of the floor. And now Jokic comes out a little bit. Okay. But this play really isn't about Jokic necessarily. We see in the left side, the strong side, play side corner, Max Christie spotted up, holding Cam Johnson. Again, you put a good shooter in a situation where the defender can't help out. That's going to matter. And then Ryan Nembhard goes to the weak side. Now, Peyton Watson's going to kind of ignore him as Jokic will retreat with AD this time because of what happened on the previous play that we just showed. Peyton Watson is going to do what is called a stunt and recover. So he is going to stunt at the nail. That's the free throw line, the middle key area. He's going to take a step or two toward Cooper Flagg to prevent him from getting in the middle of the floor. Okay. And then if Watson needs to, he can then recover to Nembhard, his man, to prevent the open three. Because as Watson sees it, AD is pinning Murray, and then Jokic is going to have to retreat. Now, as this play unfolds in the next pick, Tanner, Coop is at the nail now, and Watson is there. He has successfully stunted, right? But because Christie comes up a little bit, AD rolls into Cam Johnson. Coop now has 3 guys to pass to, really 2. You're not going to give it to AD in this situation yet. But Christie's open. Nembhard is open. But Coop is also a smart guy, and he feels this nail stunt coming. And so he's already going behind the back to get to his left hand. And then in this final image, he's rising up for the shot, and he is about a foot taller than Jamal Murray.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jokic has now recovered to AD as this play's unfolded. Watson is now escaping the lane to go recover toward Nembhard, and then Cam Johnson's trying to get out to Max Christie, turning this effectively into Coop was double-teamed at the free throw line, but because he cut back, crossed over right to left, and got in the lane, and the Mavs have the floor space correctly, it's now a 1v1, him versus Jamal Murray, and I believe this ended up even being an and one. But he made this floater. It ended up being wide open. Murray was completely helpless. So, again, good floor spacing, good playmaking, good decision-making, guys that are confident, everyone knowing their role, doing the thing they're supposed to do, creates an easy shot.
That was part of what was I believe, 27-7 run to end that second quarter to give them that 1-point lead at halftime, overcoming what was a 14-point deficit.
Basketball is easy when you score every time. So we have one final clip, and this is a demonstration of what happens whenever you don't have good nail help. So just a simple high pick and roll. AD is going to come screen for Peyton Watson. At this point, Peyton Watson's kind of defending now like he's leaning forward in the gamer chair. Ryan Nembhard is starting to take over a little bit, and so Watson's getting a little more aggressive. So, again, high pick and roll. Jokic is going to retreat. Nembhard is going to go from left to right. Max Christie makes this. Here's the return of the 45 cut. Now, in this play, Tim Hardaway Jr., who's guarding Max Christie, is supposed to provide some nail help. Or at least that's what, in this next picture, Tanner, that's what Nikola Jokic thinks. Jokic is pointing, saying like, hey, buddy, where are you going? Hey, where are you going? And we see Tim Hardaway Jr., as Christie's making this 45 cut, Hardaway's turned to his teammate, Cam Johnson, to say, hey, get up. You got to get up. Get up the line. You got to go help against this drive. So we got Jokic pointing at Hardaway, Hardaway pointing at Cam Johnson. AD has completely buried Peyton Watson behind the screen. And so Ryan Nembhard turns the corner, and look at all of the open space available to him, Tanner. Look at all of that room. Oh, my God. Jokic is still pointing. Watson is behind the play. Hardaway's still pointing. Cam Johnson is looking around like, buddy, I don't know what's going on. And Nembhard, in the final picture, is able to rise up for the easiest 18-footer of his life. NBA defenses will happily concede 18-foot jump shots 100 times a game, as opposed to a layup or a dunk or an open three or whatever. But in the previous 2 clips we saw, the Mavs got a dunk and a layup. So
easy shot in basketball.
Yeah, they were able to create a lot of easy shots. Now, to Tim's point that you made in the last segment, the Mavs did make some tough shots. You know, Nembhard made a couple really nice moves into mid-rangers, hit a couple of really difficult floaters. AD had it going from 18 to 20 feet too. But the Mavs mixed in enough of those easy shots, enabled by good spacing, proper playmaking, aggressive Cooper Flagg, AD at the 5. All of these things that we feel like should be pillars of this offense were in place last night. And so it's no surprise that the Mavs had their best offensive performance of the season.